All right, we're live. Awesome. So today we have Nikki joining us and also Cindy. It's another fireside chat, and I'm so excited because this is a wonderful topic. I know that Cindy and I have been looking forward to this, and we're going to be talking all about self-acceptance and discovering our natural gifts. So I'm Natasha Koo from Feminine Space, and along with me is the special Cindy. She's a hypnotherapist and also psychotherapist with many years of experience. She's the author of The Incidental Guru and the upcoming novel Scorpion and nonfiction Magic of the Mind, The Alchemy of Beliefs. So as you can tell, there's lots going on, and this topic is so wonderful, so I can't wait to dive in.
Hi, Natasha, and hello, Nikki. It's so nice to be here because this is a fantastic topic. And what I want to say, first of all, is there just seems to be so much pressure right now for people to be doing their passion and finding their passion and finding what they're supposed to be doing in life. And the pressure is what we have to let go of because you don't have to find your passion will find you if you just relax, because it's the most natural thing that we have in our life. It is the core of who we are, and it will evolve and grow and develop throughout our entire life. So if we start out life as a cafe waitress, we don't have to worry, because as we evolve as a human being and we try different things, um, all of this collective experience comes together, and we discover who it is we want to be and how it is we want to share our natural gifts. Now, some people do understand completely from the time they're 6 years old or even earlier, oh, I want to be a doctor and I want to save people. And that's wonderful. But it's actually very few people who really know what they want to do from the very beginning of their life, and that goes on forever. And some people want to be a doctor, then they become a doctor and they discover, that's not really what I want to do. I want to be an artist. And then they become an artist. So no matter what it is, we will find it. Just let go of the pressure.
Hmm. That's a good point. I also have a question about especially accepting our gifts and valuing it as something worthy, something that's actually brings something positive into our lives and maybe impacts others too. And what comes to mind when I talk about that kind of soft skill and maybe perhaps a gift that others may not see right away. So gifts that are really subtle, like for example, being introvert and truly listening to another person, or I don't know, perceiving energy, really connecting to people easily, things like that. It's not something that people can identify right away, and I guess in some ways such small, soft skills, not small, but such soft skills, they don't get as much credit, and other people don't actually, I guess, compliment you or tell you that it's valuable either. So, what are your thoughts on that type of gift, the really soft ones?
Well, I think those soft gifts are truly the magic of the world. And it's when we get into those, discovering those soft skills about ourselves, that's when we really begin to discover what our magical gift is. So we tend to think of gifts as being a doctor or being an actor or being some kind of profession, but that's not really where the importance lay for each of us as an individual. So, for example, I have a friend who has this amazing gift of breaking down very complex ideas into very simple steps, and he can teach. And so he discovered, after a lifetime of being a professional, that in fact his gift was teaching. And so he became a seminar leader, and not a teacher in a school, not a regular, traditional teacher, but a teacher of complex subjects. And that was his gift. And it's a wonderful gift. I also find that we are the ones that most often discount our soft skills. Whatever it is that we find the easiest to do in life is usually the skill that other people may not have. Or they might have a similar skill, but they don't have it the way we have it. We think we have to be completely unique, like a snowflake, right? There's a million snowflakes, and each one is completely unique. Well, it's true. We are millions or billions of people on the planet, but each one of us is completely unique. So there may be, songs are the best example of this. There are millions of songs written about love, but they're all different, and they're all conveyed in a unique way with a unique voice. And so that's what we have to give to the world. That's how we find our own value, our own gift, and really accept it in ourselves. We don't think, oh, well, everybody talks about love. I can't talk about love. That's not true. We all come into this world with our own perspective, with our own set of experiences, and that creates our perceptions, our beliefs, our convictions, our ideas, and that's what we give to the world. So what it is that you take for granted in yourself, I bet that's where you're going to find your greatest skill, your
Hmm.
greatest passion, and your biggest gift.
Wow, that's an interesting perspective.
It's kind of simple, but it's really difficult because the simplicity is it's the thing that's most naturally you. But the difficulty is accepting it as something very valuable. And that's what we don't tend to do, is we don't tend to value ourselves. We don't tend to value the gifts that we all take for granted. So for example, I have a friend, and he created a whole business around this when he finally figured it out. And it's called The Essential Message. And what he was able to do was help people discover what their special gift was. That's what his gift was. He could drill down and say, hey, you know what you do? And he helped to define people in terms of their uniqueness in a sea of sameness. And he called it the essential message. And that was his gift. And it's really a beautiful thing that he discovered he was able to do.
Mm. Yeah, I think it's really important, especially the self-acceptance of the gift. But because whether you like it or not, accept it or not, still going to be there.
That's right.
So,
We
so
might as well
let's talk
accept it
about.
because
Uh-huh.
that's what's there for us.
Yeah. So let's talk about how can we value it? How can we trust in ourselves, trust in this gift, fully accept that?
Well, you know what? I think that's the $64,000 question for almost every aspect of our Western lives. Like, I don't know what it is about um, all of Western civilization, and I don't even know if Eastern civilization is different from this. Maybe the whole world is like this, but it seems like the most difficult thing for us to do is to accept ourselves. We're all so critical. We all wish that we looked like somebody else, that we behaved like somebody else, that we were outgoing like them or introverted like them. We just are always comparing and wishing we were somebody else or we looked different or. So I think that aspect of self-acceptance is so key. And how do you self-accept? Ooh, well, I think it's an ongoing dialogue with ourselves and with others. And it's a reminder constantly. We're okay the way we are. We are who we are. We can't be somebody else. And do we really want to be? We all really feel like we want to be this unique person, and maybe we love that person because they're so unique. Well, you are just as unique. And if we start to think that way, if we start to have that dialogue with ourselves, like, what is it unique about me? What is it that I think is unlovable? Because, in fact, when you look at the evidence, you will find that there are people who love you because you are lovable. Most of us are. And if you're not, you better start some soul searching and find out why you aren't being loved. And it could be just your perspective, or it could be that you're being mean to people. But that's very rare. For the most part, it's this lack of self-acceptance, this lack of self-love. And we come back to that, don't we, Natty, all the time. This lack of self-love. And where are we going to find it? Well, we have to go inside. We have to listen to the deepest parts of ourselves. We have to find that center that center inside and begin to work from there.
One thing I noticed lately that relates to this is being fully present to even just having breakfast today. I did a video log just to reflect and to share how my breakfast completely changed. At least the sensations, the taste, the whole experience of having breakfast completely changed because I was mindful. I slowed down and I allowed myself to, just wonder, oh, where did the banana come from? Or, oh, where did all these ingredients come from? What's the story behind this meal? And, oh, how do I feel? What's the texture? Can I chew more? All these things. And that allowed me to fully appreciate what was in my bowl and something that I would eat really often, nothing special, but it changed the whole experience and I became so grateful and it started to have so much more meaning because I slow down to actually allow the meaning, allow the joy and the sensual experience to come to me and for me to feel it. And I think it doesn't matter if it's our gifts that we're talking about or anything else about ourselves. Sometimes we may feel blocked because we're not allowing ourselves to fully feel it, whether be appreciate or be grateful for it. So that was just the breakfast I had, which I thought, yeah, it fits perfectly with this subject.
It totally fits perfectly. And of course, mindfulness is such a great avenue for finding that internal centeredness that we always talk about, where you begin to really look inside and see what is it that this means. And it's done without judgment. I think a few weeks ago we did a whole session on judgment. And what you're talking about right now is just really perfect for that. Looking at something, where did this banana come from? Without judging, is it a good banana or a bad banana? Is it a nice looking banana or not a nice looking banana? It's just really reflecting on the moment and really reflecting on how you're experiencing this, what you're sensing inside, connecting to your internal processes as you're interacting with your external world. And when you start to do that, you do get a greater meaning and you become more in touch with what's going on inside, more in touch with the way that we relate to the world, because we're relational beings, right? We need to relate to each other and to our world.
That's great. That's really wonderful. And I just another point came to mind, and it's more. I know Nikki, you mentioned this in the group the other day, and it's more about you have a sense of the gift you do have, but perhaps in the outside, in the environment, just the social setting you're in, and the people around you, they don't value it, and they voice it out that they do not value your gift, or that's not perhaps they even say negatively that it's not something good or you shouldn't go for it. How do we deal with that then?
Haha, that's a really good question. And it's a really deep question. You know, we can talk for hours about that one because it's about who are your influences in this world and how are they influencing and how are you choosing to be influenced by them. And if you have a real gift inside that you feel is pressing to be released, pressing to be expressed, then I think you have to go for it and you have to believe in yourself, even if you're getting some people that are negative about it. Margaret Atwood, who's a very famous Canadian novelist, wrote this wonderful book called Negotiating with the Dead. I know the title's a little weird, but it's a book about writers on writing. And she has a line in there that I quote often because it changed my life. And she says, "Not everyone likes cheese." And it was in relation to when you get a bad review about your book. Not
Mm,
everybody's going to love your book. There are billions of people out there. Not everyone's going to resonate with you, but there's going to be a whole lot of people who do. And so I think that it's important to find a group of people that want to support you in expressing whatever it is you feel that you want to even try. You know, it might not be right for you, but go ahead and try it because it will then give you a depth of an experience for the next thing that you try. Or you might discover that this is really your super gift to to present to the world, and you'll be, super happy, deep and rich with meaning, and be successful all at the same time because you had the courage to follow your dream. And it's really hard to do that when you have people who are negative. So I think it's important to find people who will support your dreams, even if they seem a little outrageous. Well, if you're going to have a dream, you might as well have an outrageous one and really go for it.
Right. And you don't even need, 10, 15 people. You just maybe need even just one or
Even just
two
one.
people or half of one. Someone who just listens to you for 10 minutes per day, and that's enough.
Yeah. And not everybody has to be your cheerleader in life, and not everybody has to reflect every value that you have. I mean, we're a diverse world, and I think that it's wonderful to have people who are quite different around you. But it's true. In order to have a belief in yourself, it has to first start with somebody else's belief in you. And so you do need to find at least one person who will believe in you and help you to grow your own personal belief. We
Mm,
can't do it all on our own. We can't.
that's beautiful. Wow. That's super well-rounded, from accepting ourselves to allowing others to support us, whether in our gifts or just being who we are. So I'm going to slowly wrap this up, and I kind of want to end with another connection that I made. I was watching Netflix the other day, and they're documenting the really amazing chefs in the world, chefs who own, the top 50 restaurants in the world. And just throughout every single story, I just realized how important it is that they just kept going and kept creating food that was meaningful to them. So food that made sense to them, food that made their heart sing, food that let their creativity flow. And almost all of them, every single one of them, had awful reviews. People criticized them. The best
Yes.
critics in the world wrote nasty things about them. Or even in the local town, no one accepted it because it was so new and different. And I know that our talents might not be on this level of, I don't know, world-class Michelin star chef level of, this might not be what we're beginning to discover now, but for those people, they had the biggest resistance too. But all the things that were in common is that they just kept going. They knew what they wanted to express. They knew that was it for them, and they
Yes.
just have to keep giving it lots of faith, hope, let their partner or at least someone in their head, in their mind, keep supporting them, cheering them on. And then eventually they did make it. And now they're in these documentaries on Netflix just talking about their wonderful restaurants, their amazing dishes, and just one of a kind food.
The more you have to fight for something, the more it becomes a part of your strong essence. And so the more you are likely to become very accomplished and get very much at the top of whatever it is your particular field is. And that's a wonderful story, because the resistance that other people have towards you and your dream, and that push that you have to really express it, just makes it more and more stronger, more and more meaningful. And you learn so much in that struggle. You learn about your own ability to have commitment, to have dedication, and your capabilities of resiliency, and all of that creates this wonderful essence inside that you get to give.
Mm. That's really beautiful. And I think we'll end on that note that no matter what, just trust in yourself, allow others to trust in you. Keep in mind the things that you take for granted that bring you joy, no matter how, um, I guess, soft the skill may be, how soft the talent may be, it's still really valuable. And just trust in it and keep on going because you're the unique one, and that's it. So,
I think we have our topic for next week.
what's that?
Trust. How to
Oh,
trust.
yeah.
That's a really good one. I can talk forever on trust.
Oh yes, that's a really important topic. So I want to thank you all for joining us, and hope to see you next week for another fireside chat.
Bye,
And
everyone.
And if you have any questions, if you want to keep engaging, then feel free to join the Facebook group at femininetribe.com. And the takeaway for this fireside chat, Cindy has created a free downloadable hypnotic meditation for embracing your natural gifts, and it's a super magical one. It's really, really well done. So check that out. It's on the page right here, and it's in the page, so just find the link if you're not already on the Feminine Space website. So thanks again for joining, and see you next time.